going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made this smoky, barky, jagged, untrimmed USDA Select brisket. But it's okay, because we're making chopped beef sandwiches. Coming up! If we're talking old school Texas barbecue, we are talking about the chopped beef sandwich. Before the days of beautifully sliced prime brisket, cooked to perfection, chopped beef was the name of the game. And these old school joints were cooking beef clawed, navel, sometimes a whole forequarter of a cow, to make smoky, delicious chopped beef served on a white bun or white bread, typically with some pickles, onions, relish, a barbecue sauce, or maybe some mustard. But nowadays, with the advent of craft barbecue, the chopped beef sandwich really flies under the radar, when in reality, it is a great way to get a perfect bite of barbecue and a really great way to feed a crowd. And when done properly, it really is something special. So, that being said, today we're making some beautiful chopped beef sandwiches, and it is going to be delicious. This is a brisket. It's a historic day, folks. For the first time on this channel, I'm cooking a select grade brisket, which is another great thing about this recipe. This brisket was like 35 bucks, which is very refreshing. Reason number two is because we don't even really need to trim this up all that much, because it's all gonna be chopped up into sandwiches anyway. I'm not too concerned, but I am gonna do a little bit of trimming because that's a lot of fat that's not gonna render down. So I'm gonna take out this fat as I usually do. Maybe I'll just shave it down a little bit, as well as right here. That's a whole bunch of fat. You probably could leave it on, but because I'm here with a knife, might as well give it a real rough trim job. A lot of fat on this one. I'm also gonna take this flappy part off just because it is way too thin. And there we go. That's pretty much all I'm gonna do. Again, this is the perfect recipe for the beginner because presentation is not nearly as important. So, that being said, I think it's time to season this thing up. Seasoning for our brisket today is some classic SPG. Use this on most of my briskets. This is 2 part 16 mesh black pepper to 1 part diamond crystal kosher salt with 1/2 part garlic in there. And simply enough, I'm gonna go with a little mustard today just because I'm feeling kind of frisky. So I figured might as well. I'm already out of the comfort zone using an untrimmed select brisket, so might as well give this thing all the help it can get. And then on we go with our rub. Nice heavy application, folks, you know the drill. This high pepper ratio is what's gonna give us a really nice bark. Hey! Nothing to it. And as always, folks, don't forget the sides. Come on. Looking good to me. Let's fire up the pit. One thing you don't hear about when reading about the history of Texas barbecue is all the struggles they faced. Not only with a lack of refrigeration, but also all the snakes in their boots. On the pit we go. Fat cap up, point towards the fire. And I'm gonna rock this pit between 275 and 325 for the entire time. Again, I'm not gonna baby this nearly as much as I would with a normal brisket cook. So, we'll check back in on this in a little bit. And FYI, I do not have a black eye. The other day, old Cold Parkman and I were firing up the Weber to cook some skirt steaks, and it had just rained outside. And if you've ever left your bag of charcoal outside on the patio during a rainstorm, you can probably guess what happened next. Anywho, I took my torchy torch and I was lighting up the charcoal, and almost instantly, there was a super loud crack, and it shot a flaming ember right here. Not a great way to start the morning. So I apologize if I'm not as beautiful as always. And remember, folks, try to keep flaming charcoal out of your eyes. But while I got you here, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow, and I would really appreciate it, because I'm out here burning my eyelids for y'all. 8 hours later, this brisket is looking good. Lovely bark on there, looking great. And I guess this answers the old question of, if you don't make it aerodynamic, will the tips burn? Ooh, that is hot. Because yeah, these tips over here are getting pretty crunchy. Not too bad. This looks like the first brisket I ever cooked ever. But we got it where it counts. Fat is rendering nice and juicy, wonderful bark on there. That is straight up hard right there. Anywho, we're gonna give this the old foil boat. And that's for a few different reasons. 1, it's my favorite way to cook a brisket. 2, especially because we've got these hard, thinner ends on there, the foil boat wrapping it up is gonna help soften those up. 3, it's really gonna help speed up the cooking process. And 4, because it's untrimmed, there's a lot of fat on here that we wanna continue to render. So by leaving the bark exposed, it will keep on cooking and we'll get that wonderful bark on there. Who called the cops? Anywho, back on the smoker this goes to reach an internal temp of around 200 degrees, and then we'll pull it off. Now that this thing has come up to temp, probing nice and tender, this thing is coming off the pit. And at this stage, you totally could chop into it right now, but because this took a solid 10 hours to cook, I'm gonna go ahead and give it the overnight rest, which is only gonna help render all that fat, break all that collagen into gelatin, and give us some wonderful, nice, tender beef. I'm gonna hit this with a little bit of beef tallow. Oops, don't mind if I do. This is a select brisket, so I think the extra fat will help. And because it's in the foil boat, all that fat's gonna collect at the bottom and kind of confit the underside of the brisket. And because we're aiming for tenderness on this thing, not necessarily a sliceable texture, I think that's really gonna help out. Into my toaster oven this goes at 155 degrees overnight, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Let's make pickles. Equal parts white vinegar and some water, as well as some kosher salt and some white sugar. We're gonna let that come up to a simmer. 1 English cucumber. Going into some jars with some dill and some garlic. Then we are then gonna top off with some yellow mustard seeds, as well as a small pinch of some red chili flakes. And now that our brine is up to a simmer, we're just gonna pour this over without spilling any of it. Oh geez, oh God, looking good. It's so pretty. So let's pick a little snow globe. Let these cool off at room temp and then into the fridge they go. Back in the day, a lot of old school joints used to boil their meat and finish it on the smoker. Then they would take the liquid that the meat was boiled in and they would reduce it down and add some more flavors and make a really thin barbecue sauce that is known as Texas gravy. It's kind of like a Carolina mop sauce, except a little less tangy and infused with a whole bunch of beefy flavor. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and make ourselves a sauce. Into this pot, we're gonna go in with 2 sticks of butter. Next up, in we go with 1 small yellow onion. Once cooked down and looking lovely, we're gonna go in with some lemon juice. That's juicy lemon. Anyone get that reference? A big old pinch of some black pepper, as well as some kosher salt, and some granulated garlic. Woo-hoo, smelling so good. Some apple cider vinegar, as well as some beef bone broth. That's gonna give us some nice beefy flavor. We're also gonna go in with a little bit of some ancho powder, and a chili powder will work. Now that this is nicely reduced, let's go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients, including some brown sugar, about this much ketchup, as well as some yellow mustard, and a little shot of some Worcestershire sauce. Nice thin barbecue sauce full of flavor for our chopped beef. But as always, taste it, try it, make it your own. Ooh, oops. Oh no. Oh, whatever are we gonna do? Ooh, not too bad. I mean, the trim is killing me on the inside, but the bark, the tenderness, the smell, looking good to me, folks. I think it's time to cut into this thing. Got that crunchy bark. Honestly, that doesn't look that bad. Obviously a lot of unrendered fat on there, but like juiciness wise, yes please. No one's gonna know that that's a select brisket. Come on, folks. Ooh, nice and thick. I mean, honestly, that's really not that bad. I haven't cooked a select brisket in a long time, but yeah, that's nice and tender. A little too tender, honestly, but that's kind of what we're going for. And if there's anything to take away from this video, I think that if you're new to barbecue, this is a great way to get in some practice reps. You know, you can work on that smoke ring, work on your trim, because if you're getting chopped beef at the end of the day, everyone's gonna love it anyway. Ooh, yeah, that is ridiculously tender. Not a bad looking burn end right there. Hate that. Even a select brisket, man, these burn ends, can't go wrong with that. Let's give this a try real quick, shall we? Oh, wow. Oh, that was amazing. Yeah, that was fantastic. Crunchy bark, nice and rendered, smoked to tenderness. I mean, what's to hate about that? It just goes to show you, even an untrimmed select brisket can look camera ready and delicious. Like, that is nice and juicy. Shredding up a bit, but come on, folks. Nothing wrong with that. I'd eat that. Gotta say, it's pretty fun having a no-care brisket like this. And now the fun part begins. Chop beef time. When you cook it like this, you don't need to get a cleaver out or anything like that. Sign of a good brisket when a blunt object is all you need to make some chopped beef. All that bark evenly distributed. Love it. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, gotta love it. Now, obviously, we can't have a chopped beef sandwich without the perfect bun, which is why I'm super pumped that this video is brought to you by Martin's. And don't worry, I'm not gonna do a big scripted ad read. I'm just gonna profess my love about this bun for the next few seconds. I mean, just look at it, folks. It's the perfect bun. Squishy, lightweight, flavorful. It's everything you need a bun to be. And that's why in every video of mine that you've ever seen, whether it's toast, a sandwich, or a burger, I'm always reaching for Martin's potato bread, beautiful looking buns. And I'm not alone. This has got to be the official bun of burgers everywhere. Any quality spot that's serving good burgers or good sandwiches is using this bun. It's what we use at Leroy and Lewis, and barbecue joints all across Texas are using these guys because they're so light and fluffy and flavorful, yet they still hold up to a big greasy pile of meat, which is very important. And they just have that lovely yellow color to them. Natural ingredients, turmeric, I found out. And I was super pumped when these came to Texas a few years back because these originated in Pennsylvania back in 1950 in a one-car garage, like all great American businesses do, except I'm still in the garage. Where Martin's quickly moved to New York City, then Chicago, all over the place, and they just made it to Texas back in like 2015 or 17 or something like that. And they're popping up all over the place because they really are the best of the best. So if you're not on Team Martin's, you really got to join up because these are the best buns. You can tell that I wholeheartedly believe in them because I've been using them for the last 2 years on this channel. And the fact that they're sponsoring this sandwich is a dream come true because no matter who's sponsoring this video, I would be using a Martin's potato bread roll. So be sure to go pick some up. Thank you, Martin's, for sponsoring this video. I will continue my love affair with your buns for the foreseeable future. But now, let's get one of these toasted off and bust out a barbecue sandwich. Don't mind if I do. And we're just gonna get that mixed up all nice. This sauce is fantastic, by the way. Very flavorful stuff. That is a beautiful looking pile of chopped beef. Let's give this a little taste test real quick. Oh, a little more sauce. Get yourself a nice little meatball. It's like a little sloppy Joe. White onions. Our beautiful looking pickles. And there we've got it, folks. A beautiful chopped beef sandwich. Perfect for your summer gathering. 3 beautiful looking chopped beef sandwiches. Ah, I'm pumped. I mean, would you just look at it? Beautiful chopped beef on a Martin's potato roll with homemade pickles and homemade barbecue sauce. Pfft, come on. Ooh, that's got some heft to it. But come on, folks. That is the perfect barbecue sandwich for the summertime. That is so good. The sweetness of the pickle, the bite from the onion, the beefiness is off the chart. I mean, that sauce is like 50% bone broth. Plus, it's a smoky brisket full of Wagyu tallow. I mean, I don't know what I need to say to sell you on this sandwich. It is so much better than you think when you think of a chopped beef sandwich. Unbeatable. It really is so good. It's a little more palatable too, because instead of just a fatty piece of meat in your mouth, it's got that complexity of the acid of the pickle, the sharpness of the onion, the squishiness of the bun. It really is something special. One more bite. Tell you one thing, I'm definitely making that sauce again. Do you want a sandwich?
Yes.
Oh, you're one of those upside down sandwich eaters.
That's good.
When was the last time you had a chopped beef sandwich?
Probably since Friedman's.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's not heavy at all. Usually with these kind of sandwiches, I feel like they can be a little overwhelming. Only criticism, honestly, is, you know, I would throw a couple jalapenos in there.
That's because you're a true Texan. I'm an implant. So this is my my pledge to the world that you don't need to buy the highest quality meat to have wonderful barbecue.
Yeah, it's still really good.
I would have no idea.
You're about to kill this whole thing.
It's so good.
God. Thank you.
Man, I did not expect you to eat that whole thing.
Me neither.
You're usually a one bite and then off camera kind of gal.
Usually when you think of chopped beef too, you think of like, it's all the scraps and stuff. It's not like...
Well, yeah, it's everything that's left on the board. So it's oxidized and dried out. But when you actually aim for it,
Yeah.
Without further ado, I think it's time for the official taste test. Who wants an entire sandwich?
God, no, Brad, not the whole thing.
Do it. Alright, y'all, and that is how to make some absolutely fantastic chopped beef sandwiches using the cheapest brisket I could find to make something that I would gladly put my name on and serve to any one of you. Not to mention, if you're new to barbecue, this is the perfect cook for you. But with all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you want to see me cook next. Thank you to Martin's Potato Rolls for sponsoring this video. Thank you to all the Patreons for supporting Team Chud and allowing me to keep making all these videos. If you give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace!